Happening now, a Jamestown firefighter was allegedly threatened with a weapon yesterday, the latest arrest in the case. And the city of Jamestown sees a financial surplus in budgetary numbers. We break it all down next. Plus, Small Business Week kicks off here in Chautauqua County. A look at the push to shop local and those recognized for their entrepreneurial efforts.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
U.S. Rep. Antonio Delgado will serve as New York's next lieutenant governor. Governor Kathy Hochul announced that just a little while ago. Delgado, a Democrat, will take on the largely ceremonial role previously formally held by Brian Benjamin, who resigned following his arrest for federal corruption charges, which he denies. Hochul touted fellow Delgado's work in Congress on bills to help veterans, small businesses, and those with student loan debts. It was unclear immediately when he would likely take office. A formal announcement is expected a bit later today. We'll, of course, continue to follow this breaking story and provide updates here on air and online. Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now today. I'm Justin Gould. We have a lot more local news coming up, but first, let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that, and depending on where you are today, it's pretty cloudy out there, Dakota.
Yes, it is. The clouds are back once again for today, and we are going to see some rain showers returning. Pardon me, as we go throughout the day today. This is the Mayville Skycam showing you the clouds, but as we show it to you on the satellite and radar composite, we are starting to see some rain showers moving into northwestern Pennsylvania. These are going to start to overspread the western southern tier through mid-afternoon onward. So again, this is what we had talked about yesterday, how much of the morning would be dry, but then as we go into the afternoon, we were going to see these rain showers coming in for the afternoon. We topped out at 51 yesterday, started the day at 40, 86 and 25 are the records for today. So through the afternoon, the limited sunshine will go behind clouds. We're pretty much all cloudy now, with scattered showers arriving for the afternoon onward. A milder day, 58 to 68. That 58 is right at the immediate Lake Erie water with a southwest wind. Now, we do have a couple of dry days for this week. Plus, how is Mother's Day looking? We'll show it to you all with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin.
All right, Dakota, see you in a bit. A 64-year-old man is accused of threatening a firefighter with a weapon here in Jamestown. Police say an officer was flagged down outside of the fire station around 1:40 yesterday afternoon. The first responder alleged that the man, identified as Peter Ludwig, pointed a handgun at him before fleeing into the Jamestown Police Department station just feet away. When an officer went back to police headquarters to investigate, they say Ludwig was spotted exiting the station's lobby, approaching the officer outside. That's when he allegedly brandished the firearm. He was quickly taken into custody by that officer. Ludwig is charged with menacing and criminal possession of a weapon. He was held in Jamestown City Jail pending arraignment in that case. And a 17-year-old is facing charges after allegedly shooting an AR-15 assault rifle in the parking lot of a local Jamestown store over the weekend. Jamestown police announced today that a male teen who was not identified discharged the firearm outside the Big Lots store around 11:30 at night Saturday. When police arrived on location, they found the juvenile running through that parking lot with the weapon, which was reported stolen out of Lakewood. The teen was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon and criminal possession of stolen property. He was later arraigned and released to an adult. Well, officials in Jamestown noted a significant surplus in last year's financial review while addressing local lawmakers yesterday. Our Bronson Rasmussen is reporting and looking forward to next year, however, where there are some uncertainties on the horizon, like inflation and rising gas prices.
Comptroller Ryan Thompson presented the financials to Jamestown City Council during Monday night's work session.
You can see our revenues were $37,358,000, which was $2.2 million above the original budget. And then from an expenditure standpoint, we were pretty much flat at $35.6 million, $69,000 higher than what was originally budgeted. So pretty flat there. So from that standpoint, we end up with a surplus of $1.7 million, so an excellent result.
The things that made a difference in the 2021 budget, Thompson explains, are differences in what was expected in certain aspects of the budget versus what had actually happened. This includes sales tax, which grossed $7.96 million, $1.2 million more than the expected amount. The state highway aid, however, came in at $1.9 million, over $1 million more than expected by officials. Other losses to the city include traffic revenue.
Parking, lots meters violations down, so local revenues, a lot of local revenues were down. We're down $197,000 there.
As for the 2022 outlook, Thompson looked at the ever-growing price of gasoline and how it will affect the budget overall.
Gas is the big one. Obviously, with the price of gas going up, I'm anticipating we'll be anywhere from $130,000 to $150,000 over budget from a gasoline standpoint.
Thompson believes that tax revenues for 2022 will offset rising gas prices. He also added that winter preparations for the city of Jamestown are within normal amounts for the year. Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Several summertime gatherings were approved by local lawmakers in Jamestown last night, including the upcoming Memorial Day Parade. The parade has not happened in the past 2 years due to the pandemic. However, it's back this year, taking place Monday, May 30th on Prendergast Avenue, with the lineup starting at 9 in the morning, the procession getting underway promptly at 10 a.m. Other events okayed by the city include the Jamestown Public Market. That'll happen on June 12th. The Juneteenth Festival event, which will happen June 17th through June 19th, and the World Series of Wheels. That'll happen on June 23rd at Bergman Park. Also, the Jamestown Pride Festival, which saw a lot of community involvement in its first appearance last year, is awaiting approval for the summer, with the occurrence likely to happen at the next council work session. And Chautauqua County's clerk is reminding local travelers that the Real ID enforcement for commercial domestic air travel and other federal purposes is now 1 year away. Clerk Larry Barmore issued a statement Monday saying that the law affects how states issue driver's licenses and ID cards, with upgrades in place for things like boarding a domestic flight or entering a federal building. The clerk says those wishing to obtain a Real ID or enhanced driver's license can visit one of our county DMV's office, either by walking in the door or making an appointment online at their website. The measure had been pushed back several times previously due to the pandemic. As WNY News Now continues this half hour, the new election measure here in New York, we check in with our local senator who's now sounding off about it. And later, the latest charges lodged against a shooting suspect of a 7-year-old boy in our region. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Chautauqua County is in dire need of child care providers, and we need your help. The Chautauqua Child Care Council is hosting several special webinars to help you enter the child care industry. Setting up a child care program is easier than you think. It could start in your home, caring for a few children, or grow into a large operation at a daycare center. If financials are a challenge, no worries. The New York State Office of Children and Family Services is offering a grant opportunity to help you get started.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Whoa, Free Comic Book Day is almost here.
There's comic books for all ages.
Stop on down to Chautauqua Comics at 214 Fairmount Avenue in Jamestown and pick up some free comics. From superheroes to science fiction, there are tons of options.
100% free. Just show up on May 7th starting at 11 a.m.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
State Senator George Borrello is blasting a just-passed measure that changes New York's election law, allowing a political candidate charged in a crime to be removed from a ballot and replaced with a candidate from the same political party. The state Senate and Assembly approved that legislation yesterday to allow candidates to decline their spot on the ballot if they've since been charged with or convicted of crimes. The new law follows Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin's resignation following his arrest on corruption charges. With the legislation, Benjamin can decline his party's nomination and remove himself from the June primary ballot, something he said he intends to do. The Democratic Party and its Committee on Vacancies would then fill that spot with a candidate of their choosing, a point the senator is warning against. Now, Governor Kathy Hochul told reporters that the bill is about ending dysfunction in Albany, denying it was solely focused on her gubernatorial bid. Hochul is expected to officially name a downstate congressman as Benjamin's replacement later today. A group of New York voters asked a federal court yesterday to reinstate congressional district maps, which were tossed out by the state judges last week because they were gerrymandered to favor Democrats. The lawsuit filed in Manhattan argued that even if those maps weren't unconstitutional, as a state appeals judge found, it was too late to draft a new one. The plaintiffs pointed to a federal court order from 10 years ago that set New York's congressional primaries on the fourth Tuesday in June in order to make sure military and overseas voters had ample time to receive and return their mail ballots. The state judge last week ordered the state's congressional and state primaries to be delayed until August 23rd in order for a new map to be drawn from the previous scheduled date of June 28th. Well, Northeast police have released a photo of the suspect and vehicle in the robbery of a credit union there. It was reported last week, Thursday, just before 11:30 in the morning, at the Widget Financial on Grant Street in Northeast PA. The suspect went into the credit union and passed a note to the teller, which he said he was armed and demanded all the money. The teller then turned over that money. That suspect took off on foot, heading southeast. Officers searched that area, but were not able to locate this man. Police said they believed a vehicle was involved as well, a blue 2018 to 2020 Chevrolet Equinox with tinted windows. And City of Erie police have charged 2 people in the fatal shooting of a 7-year-old boy who was walking in his neighborhood last month. Erie News Now's Kristen Allen reports on the case and the rise of violence around our region.
7-year-old Antonio Espen Yarger Jr. was walking with his brother and other friends when he was shot in the head on Downing Avenue and Fairmount Parkway. He died from his injuries just 4 days later.
We don't want this violence to become the norm in Erie. We're getting close to it being there, though, among the kids.
Now, 2.5 weeks after the deadly shooting, 2 suspects have been arrested and charged for the little boy's murder. 17-year-old Abdullah Ismail is charged on 5 counts, including criminal homicide, reckless endangerment, and carrying a firearm without a license. 19-year-old Yassine Ibrahim is charged on 3 counts, including criminal homicide. Amy Izard is the director of the Gamble Civic Institute and works through Unified Erie to decrease violence and crime among young people.
Right now, everybody's scrambling to try to identify what the answer is, what the solution is to stopping the juvenile violence.
At this point, to curb this senseless violence, Izard says social programs have to examine their outreach efforts, and parents have to be involved in their kids' lives.
We need to be engaging with our kids. We need to be engaging with the friends that they're hanging out with. We need parents involved.
And it's going to take the community coming together for this problem to get any better.
Tragedies, as unfortunate as they are, can bring communities together. And we all, have a role to play in addressing the violence. But we all need to be working in the same constructive direction.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Kristen, thank you. A vigil is planned for tonight in his memory. Very tragic there. Coming up, a look at the push this week to celebrate small businesses here in Chautauqua County, the call to action for you. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay right there.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area. Hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at the Northwest Arena as we ring in summer vacation with a party featuring snacks, music, and more. In addition, several groups will be on hand speaking with both kids and parents about the plethora of activities available to keep our youth occupied. Then later in the evening, finish out the home run day with a night of fun at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. As a PE teacher, I know the importance of keeping kids busy this summer, so stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. You can learn more online at ccsolutions716.com and watch for updates on the Collaborative Children's Solutions Facebook page.
Slow down, and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights,
Vests.
please give us some room.
slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger,
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down.
slow down.
And move over.
move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody. Wanted to give you a look at the pollen levels because, again, spring is the season where the pollen really starts taking shape. So, again, it's still grasses, trees, and ragweed pollen, still our main culprits, and they're going to remain our main culprits all the way through the spring months as the trees start to bud a little bit. Now, I wanted to show you the hydrograph for the Chautauqua River simply because the river actually is running a bit high. 2.83 feet is the current water level, just a little bit below action flood stage. We're going to watch the river flow gauges across the region over the next couple of days as we're going to get some rain in here, maybe some locally heavy downpours as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. We don't expect major flooding, but we'll keep our eyes on it just in case. Lots of clouds downtown right now. 57 as a noon hour, a south wind to 6 that's actually helping to propel our temperatures up a little bit. And the good news is with a light wind, we really don't have a wind chill index or even a feels like temperature either. Not really all that humid. So here's the rain that's coming our way. All this is sparked with this storm system that is just north of St. Louis, and you're starting to see the rain coming into near Cleveland, coming up into northwestern Pennsylvania. It's going to overspread the southern tier as we go into the afternoon. So here it is on FutureScan. This is one of the high-res computer models, so it's showing the overall rain better and overall the convection. So you'll see the rain overspread the region as we go into late this afternoon and then into tonight. We are going to see a band of moderate to heavy rain coming on in. Again, there could be some moderate to heavy downpours within that and also a couple thunderstorms as well. The rain will continue overnight and then through early tomorrow we will see the rain showers continuing, but the rain will taper off on Wednesday from west to east in the afternoon hours, and then by the time we go into Wednesday night and then into Thursday we should dry out with partly sunny skies. Now, rain forecast, this is the NOAA QPF, and we're looking at about 3/4 of an inch to upwards of about 1.25 inches worth of rainfall over the next 5 days. So again, this is where the flooding potential comes into. So we'll keep our eyes on it, but we don't think flooding will be a main concern. But the good news is going into next week, there are signs that a big warm-up will be coming our way toward next week. Never mind the dates. I forgot to change the dates on the banner. But this is going into next week. A big surge of warmer air coming on in. So it does look like we will likely start to warm up into some spring air. So the next 7 powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So 58 tomorrow with the rain ending. How do you like my little dancing jalapeno pepper there? For Cinco de Mayo on Thursday. Friday, a few showers. Saturday, a few more showers. Mother's Day, looking nice for all the mothers, 68 with lots of sunshine. And we'll keep it going, Justin, into Monday where we should be around 70, and we may go warmer than that late next week. Stay tuned on that.
All right. Hint, 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 folks. Good news for those who love the warmer weather. Dakota, thank you. Let's check some headlines now from around the nation. And Roe versus Wade might be coming to an end soon. That's according to a draft of the U.S. Supreme Court's opinion. Politico says it's obtained and verified. Women in the U.S. could lose their federal right to have abortions by the end of June. Politico has obtained the draft of the U.S. Supreme Court opinion. It's suggesting that justices are poised to overturn Roe v. Wade this term. If the opinion stands as written, states alone would regulate abortions. Progressives are lamenting the draft opinion, while many conservatives rejoice. A parallel reaction is outrage over the draft coming out with protests last night. Now, analysts say it's an unprecedented breach of Supreme Court security and confidentiality for this leak to occur. In a court appeal, a lawyer for Donald Trump said Monday it's unconscionable and indefensible for the ex-president to be held in contempt and fined $10,000 a day for failing to turn over documents he doesn't possess. His attorney made that argument in a submission to a New York State appeals court, requesting that the contempt order and fine be suspended until the challenge can be heard by an appeals judge. The arguments were submitted a week after a state Supreme Court judge in Manhattan said Trump and his lawyers had failed to show they conducted a proper search for records sought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, a Democrat, in a civil probe of his business dealings. James had asked the court to hold Trump in contempt after he failed to produce any documents to satisfy a March 31 deadline to meet the terms of the subpoena. She had said her investigation had found evidence that Trump may have tatted the value of assets like skyscrapers and golf courses on financial statements for over a decade. Trump, a Republican, has been fighting James in court over her investigation, which he had publicly called a motivated witch hunt. And the U.S. could send a lot more money to help Ukraine, that is around $33 billion more. But some worry that congressional members will try to tie in additional COVID relief funding to this multi-billion-dollar request. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
Congressional lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have expressed interest in sending more help to Ukraine.
If there's another request for Ukraine, I think there's an overwhelming likelihood it'll be approved.
And it looks like that could happen. Last week, President Biden formally made that request, asking Congress for $33 billion for military, economic, and humanitarian assistance for Ukraine. Pennsylvania Democratic Senator Bob Casey tells us in a statement Biden's aid request meets the moment, saying in part, it would provide direct support for security, military, and humanitarian assistance so that the Ukrainian people can keep defending their country and their democratic values.
It should be a standalone bill, and it should have the proper oversight of Congress, being that the American people are going to be paying for it.
But now this request might hit a road bump. Some worry the White House and some members might try to tie in billions of COVID relief for Americans in this legislation, something the White House press secretary addressed.
We put forward both of these funding requests today because they're both vital, they're both important. We need them both to help the Ukrainians and to help ensure we're continuing our COVID programs here in this country and around the world. But we're not going to predetermine for Congress how they move forward. There's just an urgency in moving them forward.
But Congressman Fred Keller still has his reservations.
We are concerned about what's happening to the innocent people in Ukraine and helping them. But we should not be looking at more COVID relief. There is literally hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars unspent for COVID. And you've got governments that have given money back to people, incentivizing them not to work and doing a whole bunch of other things. This stuff needs to end. Sooner or later, we need to get back to work.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will prioritize the funding for Ukraine and move it quickly through Congress. Next, Small Business Week kicks off here in Chautauqua County. A look at the push to shop local and those recognized for their entrepreneurial efforts.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Local leaders in Chautauqua County are celebrating Small Business Week by touting the importance of shopping local and honoring two entrepreneurs. Our Julia Gress with more.
County Executive P.J. Wendell led the celebration at the Asheville General Store on Monday.
I, Paul M. Wendell Jr., Chautauqua County Executive, do hereby declare Sunday, May 1st through Saturday, May 7th of 2022 as Small Business Week in Chautauqua County and encourage all residents to shop local and support many small businesses in our communities that make up the backbone of our economy by providing jobs, goods, and services to our residents.
Those with the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce say the pandemic refocused consumers to support small business as they saw their neighbors hurting. An estimated 67 cents of every dollar spent at a local business stays in the community, which is why those like Courtney Corratalo from the Small Business Development Center at SUNY JCC work to help those looking to start a new venture.
We provide free and confidential business guidance to any small business in Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, or Allegheny counties. So if you need help with business plans, marketing, financial projections, and budgeting, please come in and see one of our 6 certified business advisors.
2 local businesses were recognized as Entrepreneurs of the Year after competing with thousands statewide. The awards went to Hector Alvario, owner of Hotspot Cafe in Jamestown, and to Jackie Francis, owner of Asheville General Store.
I was thinking about the courage that it takes for these small businesses to put everything on the line, you know, and venture everything they have, leverage everything, and you know, in the process of doing that, they're helping people feed their families. They're creating jobs. So kudos to all the small businesses out there, all the people that make these small businesses work.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
The Chamber of Commerce Spring Membership Drive also kicked off yesterday. It runs until June 9th. During Small Business Week alone, any new member could sign up with a $45 discount. Yeah, certainly great. And when you look at that, they're right. Small businesses are the backbone of where we are. And WNY News Now is a small startup company that's grown significantly and provides an important service. But nevertheless, when you look at somebody like Hector or Asheville General Store, they're really on the front lines, and they were during the pandemic, both of them providing vital services, because there are people who, you think about it specifically, this was put into perspective with me by a nurse who said after dealing with, say, the emergency room all night, they don't always get the chance to go home and make a meal. So sometimes in the morning, if they work overnight, they go to Hector's, they get some breakfast. That's a vital service. Same with Asheville. They provide local groceries to a number of people in the community. And yeah, there's stores like Wegmans and Walmart, but when you look at it, they're the local guys, right? They're the folks who you know and your neighbors. And I think it is an important thing to recognize. So Small Business Week, but you could have Small Business Year where you have that mindset of getting out there and shopping local. So really, certainly great.
And I got to tell you, Hector down there at Hotspot Cafe, he has some good eats. I'll tell you that.
Oh gosh, the most delicious food you will ever have in your life. I really, if you haven't tried it, get down there and get it.
And I have to correct myself very quickly. That was not a jalapeno pepper on my weather graphic. That's a chili pepper.
Ah,
a
okay.
dancing chili pepper.
A dancing chili pepper. Well, still nevertheless, hot and spicy. That's for sure. Dakota, thanks. We'll leave you with this live look over Randolph here in Cattaraugus County. Have a great day. See you back here tomorrow.